What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am John, the creative blue collar guy, and today we have a review of a White Buffalo album known as The Year of the Dark Horse. I'm a few weeks late on getting this, but then again, I've never been one to try and be right on top of something right when it comes out, right when it releases, mostly because I work a full-time job. Secondly, because at least with this specifically, as much as I would like to do review videos a little more frequently, this is one that I feel I had to really kind of take some time to listen through it, really digest it, really process it. And it's been one week, 2 weeks. It's been about a little over a week. As of me recording this video, at least. It's been a little over a week, maybe coming up closer on 2 weeks by the time I post this, since this album has come out. But if you look back, I've done kind of a failed segment that I've sort of shelved for now called Bands You've Probably Never Heard Of. I did do one featuring the White Buffalo, better known as Jake Smith, with his drummer Matt the Machine and Christopher Hoffey as his bandmates. But again, I think Jake Smith is essentially the primary songwriter, but still his band is his band. They record with him, they tour with him, and they're fantastic. If they come to your town, if they come anywhere near you, I always recommend going to see their live shows, because while people might look at them and think, oh, they're a three-piece band, the guy's leading from an acoustic guitar, go see their shows. The energy is fantastic, the songwriting, the performance, the energy, the passion, everything. They put on great shows. They're fantastic. But this album, The Year of the Dark Horse, he said, Jake himself said that he wanted to kind of change things up a little bit. You know, people have been sort of trying to pigeonhole the band and saying, oh, you're country, oh, you're folk, you're acoustic rock, you're this, you're that. And he said, all right, well, buckle up, because here comes something totally different. And it very much was. And I love it. I love this album. Still waiting on my vinyl copy to show up, because I know they said there were kind of some issues with the printing things, sort of a common thing still going on lately. So that's been a little bit delayed, but it's coming. For now, I can listen to it on streaming services until I get my physical copy. But Year of the Dark Horse is essentially a concept album. So Jake Smith wrote this story, and it starts out, first song, one of the first opening lines, he's talking about, Happy New Year, whatever. So I could be very wrong in assuming this, but this is my hot take that I'm putting out there, is the album has 12 tracks and it's supposed to be a year. So I'm thinking, and like I said, I'm still listening through, still kind of processing the album, but I think it's like each song is maybe 1 month. So that first song obviously is January, goes on and so forth, and then the last song, Life Goes On, I think also ends in winter. So I think now we're at December at the end of the album. So when the album was announced, and then about a month maybe before the album actually came out, to be able to stream it, buy it, listen to it, he did these live stream events on an app called Veeps, Veeps, where he essentially filmed it was like a series of music videos. So each video was, okay, this is the first song, Not Today. Okay, this is the video for Winter Act 2. And they kind of spliced them together and did like a 45 minute long film of all of the different videos back to back. So you got to hear the album, you got to see the videos that played out. And I remember upon watching this, first and foremost, just listening through the album, I thought, man, this is both different and familiar. I've said this about Coheed and Cambria before as well. Very, very different bands. Very different, obviously. But I've said this about even Coheed, in that certain bands, like, they kind of have a familiar sound, and even if they continue to reinvent themselves and do new things that work and are good and are fun to listen to, there's still that little bit of familiarity of, like, this is new and this is different, but this still sounds like the White Buffalo. This still sounds like, whoever has their own kind of signature sound. So listening through it, it's the dynamics are up and down. There's fast, upbeat songs. There's really slow, mellow, quiet songs. But that last one, I still even remember watching the live stream, watching the film, if you will. The last song played, Life Goes On. And I was sitting there thinking, I wasn't looking at the track listing as I was watching the film, but there was just something in me watching this video where it was Jake Smith in a dark room with a projector showing photos, and he's like looking at pictures of, whatever. And this last very somber, very inward reflective song is playing with lines like, when I'm gone, there'll still be birds and dogs and trees, and will they put me in the ground or will I float up into the light and stuff. And so it's just sort of this song of dealing with your own mortality and realizing that at some point, sooner or later, whenever your time is to go, you're going to go. And I think every artist and every musician, anyone that's creative, has always kind of come to this place at some point where they write a song acknowledging that and realizing that. And I just remember hearing this song and watching this video as part of this film thinking, I can't wait for this album to come out because I want to hear that song again. And it's something that I've brought up in the past, or maybe I haven't, I forget. It's been on my list of topics to do on a live stream, and maybe I keep skipping over it. But I always ask the question of, think of your favorite bands, think of your favorite albums, music that you just absolutely love to listen to. And if a particular album does not have a good final song, if it doesn't have a good finishing song, if you're listening to an album and the opener is really good, it's upbeat, it's high energy, it gets you going, and then the dynamics kind of go up and down throughout the rest of the album. If after 5, 6, 10 times listening through a particular album, if you're listening to it and in your head you can't remember or can't think of what the last song sounds like, I pose the question of, is it still a good album? There's still talent, there's still creativity, there's still songwriting, still composition, but I believe, my thought, my opinion is I very much feel like albums should play out kind of like movies. And not every album is going to be a concept album, but I still think when you write and record, and especially when you arrange and you're sitting there in the final moments of, okay, how are we going to arrange it? What song goes where in the track listing? You have to have, I think, a really good, strong opener. And it could be a mellow song that builds, or it could be a really high-energy song. However you start it, whatever. But you want an opening song that grabs your audience. And then, again, different dynamics throughout the album, up and down, beginning, middle, and end. But your last song, the way you close out the album, I feel needs to be really memorable. Because otherwise, just like re-watching a movie, just like re-listening to albums over and over again that we love, what keeps you coming back if you're going to shut it off before that last track? If you're going to be like, oh, that last song isn't that great, we'll skip it, we'll turn it off. It's like, I think that maybe streaming services have changed that a little bit too in how people consume music. It's a lot easier now to just put something on shuffle and just you pull up, okay, the White Buffalo, and just play his whole catalog on shuffle, and it's something from his first album, from his sixth album, from his, and it's all over the place. There's different playlists, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think at some point you do need to sit down and say, okay, well, I'm going to listen to this album front to back. If you've seen any kind of my recent posts as I've sort of come out of my cave, come out of hiding a little bit lately, I've signed up on Discogs.com, and I'm in the process of taking that shelf back there behind me and cataloging my record collection. And I think that I'm probably a little bit too young to remember this, but I know enough to be able to look at generations before me, and that music used to be more of a social thing. When vinyl was kind of the preferred and maybe one of the only mediums to listen to music, aside from maybe an 8-track in your car, people would buy new albums and call their friends, or that day at school or whatever, hey, I got the new Led Zeppelin record, come over and listen to it. Or your friends would come over and they would bring records, and you would sit around these big speakers and listen to music together. It was something you did with friends. Now everyone, you put in your earbuds, you put on your headphones, whatever. And I do that too. It's very convenient. It's fine. But I long for the days where you would hang out with people and listen to music, and you could kind of maybe listen through it the first time, then maybe play it again, and then as it's playing again, give your commentary and maybe pick it apart. And, oh, I really like this because, or, oh, this part could have been better, or, you know, whatever. But I'm really going down a rabbit hole on this one when I really wanted to kind of do a brief review of the Year of the Dark Horse, and I'm already over 10 minutes here. But that first song, Not Today, starts off, okay, he's saying, Happy New Year, Earth. You know, we're starting the story. Winter Act 2 is a little slower. It's just him finger-picking acoustically. And Kingdom for a Fool is another one that really, really resonated with me. There are lines in there where he's saying something about, like, you know, I traded my wings for a cage, 9 to 5, you know, traded it for a salary. Is that all I'll ever be? And that's very much in a position where I feel I am right now, in that I am working in a machine shop. They're paying my bills, they're giving me benefits, everything, but I still want more out of life. Like, yes, I am a blue collar guy. I'm not afraid of hard work. I work with my hands. I like to know how things work, how they come apart, how they go back together. But at the end of the day, also, I am getting real sick and tired of constantly working for someone else. So people who have managed to break free of that and make a living off of creativity, music, what have you, these songs really hit deep within my soul on that one, and just thinking, you know, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm working my 9 to 5. I'm getting my salary, and yeah, it's getting me by. But am I happy? Not really. But what's the alternative? I'm not really sure yet, because I live in Southern California and rent ain't cheap. So then here we've got the next one, Love Will Never Come, spring song. So again, we're what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's April. We're in spring now. She Don't Know That I Lie. That's another kind of interesting one. Again, you got to go listen to the album for yourself and really pay attention to the lyrics, really dissect it. But musically, this one, it's almost got kind of like a dark, like twisty circus sound to them, and it's kind of a different sound for this particular band, being that when you see them live, it is a 3-piece band: acoustic guitar, drums, bass. Christopher Hoffey, excuse me, on bass. Will usually, on certain songs, sit down at a keyboard. I've seen some photos from this tour coming up now, where I'm about to go see them in a couple weeks, where Hoffey's actually playing electric guitar. So maybe they'll be missing some bass a little bit there, but he's going to be doing some of the electric guitar parts. So even for a 3-piece band, I mean, they're bringing it at their live shows, even though the production on the albums there's a lot of stuff going on, but when they play live, they bring it and they do their best. So with the 3 guys, man, they're changing hats and doing different stuff. Come On, Come Up, Come Out, I think it was a very kind of classic White Buffalo song. It's very reminiscent of a lot of songs from his previous albums, if you are familiar with his music. Love Song Number 3, again, a little more of a quiet, more mellow. And again, if you go back and look at his previous albums, he's got Love Song Number 2. And so each album, he kind of, not every single album, because obviously this is only the 3rd one, but he kind of keeps it going with just a generic, here's a love song, you know. Heart Attack, I thought, was a really fun song. It brings it back up a little more upbeat. The video for this one in the film was him, you know, in a bar, and a lot of the furniture in there looked very kind of 1960s, 1970s. I guess what people now call mid-century modern, but a fun, upbeat song. The video was kind of funny. He's in the bar and running around and stuff. Am I Still a Child? Another one that maybe I'll speak for myself on this one, but I think for every man out there, we kind of ask this question at some point too. It's like, at what point do you really grow up? At what point are you really an adult, really a man? And I think we still sort of battle with this. I mean, this guy, he's, you know, older than me, obviously, and he's still battling with that, still asking that question, like, am I still a child? Am I a grown-up? Am I a man? You know, he's, to my knowledge, at least, I think he's got a woman in his life. He's got at least one kid, but there's sometimes just still that question, am I still a child? 52 Card Pickup and Donna, I think both kind of run together a little bit. They're both a little more upbeat songs. I think it was Donna I'm trying to remember because I only watched the film once. It was kind of a live stream event where you got it one time, and then he's slowly rolling out the videos on YouTube. So right now, I think on YouTube you can watch up to Kingdom for a Fool for free on YouTube, and then he'll again continue to slowly roll out the rest of them. Donna, if I remember correctly, was one where he was just in a room, and it was like those places where you can pay money to go and just smash shit up. So that's what he was doing. He had a baseball bat and was just going nuts while this song is playing. So that was fun. And then, as I already kind of harped on a little bit, Life Goes On, where he's sitting in a room alone with a projector showing old photos and just kind of reflecting on the year, reflecting on life. And it's just it's a great song, and it's a great way to end the album. I can't wait to see these guys in a couple weeks here in town and see what songs from this album they play, how they do them live. But all I know is that it'll already be at least the third, maybe fourth time I've seen them live, and they never disappoint. It's always a good time. So I guess not really much of an in-depth review because I'm not really good at giving reviews, but I just again wanted to take some time to put out some more videos, highlight this album in particular that I have had playing on repeat since it came out almost 2 weeks ago. So wherever you consume your music, whether you are like me and you buy physical copies as well as using streaming, whether you use Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, go first and foremost, just look up the White Buffalo in general. Look up his whole catalog. But this album in particular, definitely Year of the Dark Horse. Don't just put it on in the background while you're working. Don't just have it on while you're driving. Or, well, maybe while you're driving. If you're in your car alone and you're going for a long drive, or if you are able to get to a quiet place where you can just put this on and really listen to it. Really, really listen to this. This album is not background music. This is not something to just have on while you're, cleaning the house or whatever. Really, really give this album a listen. He hasn't done one in a while, but I mentioned in my video before, check out his YouTube channel. He's got a series on there he did for quite some time called In the Garage, especially during the last couple years when everything was really locked down. He was doing at least a once a week In the Garage videos that are both hilarious and fun to watch because it's just him with his acoustic guitar playing his songs without his band. Anyways, yeah, highly recommend. Check out the White Buffalo and his entire catalog. Definitely go give this album a listen from front to back the way it's recorded, not on shuffle. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. I thought I was going to keep it short, but we're going on almost 20 minutes. So sound off in the comments here. Let me know what you guys think. Have you heard his music before? Are you a fan? Have you listened to this album yet? Let me know what you think of the album. And as always, make sure to like and share this video out there for others to see. If you are new here, thank you so much for watching this far through. Please hit that subscribe button on your way out. Ring that bell for notifications. And make sure that bell is set to all so you get notified every time I post a video and as well as when I go live. I, of course, am John, the Creative Blue Collar Guy, signing off. I'll talk to you guys later.